friends! A couple years ago, I made a video about how to deposit cash into an ATM. It's been really popular and a lot of people have had some great questions in the comments. So I decided it was time for a refresh of that video, and at the end, I'm gonna answer some of the most commonly asked questions that people have had, so stick around for that. Get ready before you head out of the house. You're gonna need to have the cash that you want to deposit into the ATM. I like to count this before I go and write down somewhere how much cash it is. I like to write it on a post-it note and wrap it up with the cash so I don't forget how much I had. And you're gonna need your debit card associated with your bank account. If you don't want to take your physical card, you can also use Google Pay or Apple Pay on your phone if you've loaded your debit card into your app and the ATM takes contactless payments. Not all of them do, but a lot of the major banks do now. And you need to know the PIN associated with that debit card. If you're not sure, sometimes you can reset it in your banking app if you need to. And then you're gonna need to find an ATM associated with your bank. For most banks, you can use your debit card to take money out of pretty much any ATM, but you can only do deposits at your own bank's ATMs. Once you get to the ATM, let's go through the steps. Step one is you're either gonna insert your card or use the contactless option. Then you're gonna need to enter the PIN associated with your debit card. The next steps might vary a little bit depending on the ATM, but for this Chase ATM, you're gonna go into Menu, then select Deposit, and then select Cash. And for most modern ATMs, you're gonna be able to put all of your cash in one big stack into the ATM at once. There is usually a physical limit for how many bills the machine can accept, so make sure you pay attention to that. On the machines I went to, the limit was either 100 or 150 bills. Then put your bills in a neat stack with no paper or paper clips and put them into the slot or tray on the machine. Then the ATM will take those bills and count them, and it should give you the amount on the screen. Make sure you check this against how much you thought the amount should be. If any of the bills were badly damaged or very wrinkled, it's possible the machine might reject those and give them back to you. You could always take those damaged bills inside the bank if you're not able to deposit them into the ATM. If there's something wrong and the deposit does not match the amount you thought, you can always hit the cancel button and it will give you that cash back again. So that's the basic process. Let's go through some of the questions that people had. The first question that a lot of people had is, when is my money available to spend? For most of these modern ATMs, the machine does the counting of the bills, so it verifies it right away and it makes it available immediately in your account, even if it's the middle of the night. But these policies do vary by bank, so I would check out your own bank's policies on when it's available. Next question was, what if you have an online bank that doesn't have local branches? Well, some of the online banks have gotten around this by allowing cash deposits at stores like CVS and Walgreens. I've done a video about Capital One 360. They allow this now, and you use your banking app to get a barcode and you take it into the drugstore, have them scan it, give them the cash, and it immediately shows up in your account. So if your bank doesn't have local ATMs, check out what options they might have for cash deposits. But there are certain online banks that just don't have any option for cash deposits. Next was, is there a limit on how little or how much you can deposit? As far as how little, no, I think any bank will allow as little as $1. ATMs do not take coins though, so $1 would be the smallest amount. As far as maximum, as I mentioned, the machines do have a physical limit on how many bills they can take per transaction, but if you have more than 100 bills, you can just do multiple transactions and it should be fine. Most banks do have an overall limit on how much cash you can deposit in a month, but those limits are pretty large and are going to be more than most of us would ever want to deposit. Another question some people asked was, can I deposit cash directly onto a credit card, not onto a debit card or bank account? And the answer is no, you can't go directly to a credit card, but you could deposit the cash into a bank account and then use that bank account to pay the credit card. And because cash deposits into ATMs are usually instant, this could make the process go pretty quickly. I hope this video was helpful. If you have more questions, please leave them down in the comments and I might include them in a future video. Or if you have suggestions of other videos you'd like me to make, I'd love to hear them.